Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this is Bracket Fight. We've done this for the killers of who would fight, one on one, who would win. Now we're gonna do it with the survivors. The survivors are a little bit harder, I think, because they all come from different backgrounds. So I'm gonna do the best just based off of that and based off of, I guess, perks would be the next thing. So right off the bat, we have Dwight versus Megan. I feel like Meg wins. I think Meg's pretty athletic. I feel like Dwight's pretty cowardly, so we're gonna go Megan here. Nia versus Lori. I feel like you can't go against Lori being that final girl, at least in this round. Fang versus David. Gamer versus rugby player. I think David gets that advantage. Adam versus Kate. I feel like Adam's built pretty well. I'm gonna go Adam over here. Ash versus Nancy. Uh, even though the age is completely different, Ash literally has a chainsaw for a hand half the time. If not, he just has a metal hand. I think Ash wins here. Yui versus Zarina. I feel like Zarina's probably gotten some scraps over her years, but Yui's like super super young, super strong, and I mean she's very athletic with being like a motorcyclist and stuff. So I'm gonna go Yui. James versus Lisa. I feel like Lisa kind of has the advantage over James. I don't feel like James has any like strength. Yoon versus Jill. Well, Jill's trained like professional, and I would assume that has like some professional fighting abilities. So I'm gonna go Jill here. Leon versus Carlos. Wow, actually, this one kind of throws me for a loop. I feel like they're pretty close, but I feel like I give the advantage to Carlos. Jonah versus Yoichi. I think Jonah wins here. Rebecca versus Victorio. I think Rebecca wins. I think Rebecca is a trained fighter most of the time, or like not most of the time is. I think we go Lori here over Meg. I don't know why I forgot her name. I think we go David over Adam just because of like the athletic background. I feel like Ash wins here very slightly. Give him the slight advantage. I think Jill wins here. Not as slight there. Carlos versus Victoria. Not Victoria. Jonah. God, what? I was just thinking of the last couple matchups. Carlos. Rebecca gets the bye. I think David here now gets Lori. I don't know. It's like Lori is just like has that plot armor, but I think it's only against Mikey. I think Jill wins here. I think Carlos wins here. Hmm. Honestly, couldn't tell you on this one. I think like David is just pretty athletic and he's kind of like a brawler. I feel like in hand to hand combat he should be able to beat Jill, and that disheartens me. And I think this is where Carlos just has the advantage of being a special ops person. I think Jake wins here. I think Bill wins here. I think Tap wins here because I think like Quinn probably doesn't know much fighting. Jeff versus Jane. This is actually, I feel like Jane could probably beat him up. I feel like Jeff just has never learned how to fight. Either knows really good how to fight, like he's killed a man, or he's never fought in his life. We've kind of seen this play out in Stranger Things. I think Steve has the advantage. Sable versus Cheryl. I think Cheryl wins here. Felix versus Elodie. I think Felix has a slight advantage here. Shiva versus Claire. I think Shiva is a little bit more well trained in fighting. Chris versus Michaela. Oh my god. That feels very one sided. Chris is definitely going to beat up Michaela. Ada versus Hattie. I think Ada wins. She's a trained assassin. Oh, siblings. Ooh. I think I'll go with the brother. I don't know. I feel like they've probably fought each other for years. I think I go Jake over Bill there. I think I go Tap over Jane. I think I go Cheryl over Steve, maybe? I don't feel like Steve would be able to defeat her. I don't know. It's kind of more of a gut feeling there. Go Shiva. Ooh, Ada versus Chris. They fought in the six a little bit. I think I give the advantage to Chris, just very slightly. Get a buy down there. I feel like we go Jake. I think that we go Shiva there. I think we go Chris. I think Shiva could beat Jake. And then Shiva versus Chris, this is just Resident Evil 5. You know, like they were friends, and I think we go Chris. Chris versus Carlos. Wow, Resident Evil final. Didn't actually expect that. At least not these two. I feel like we give the man who punched a boulder, literally. But tell me what you guys think in the comments. Tell me who you would have fought in general, even if you don't agree with the pacing of where we go. Like, who you think is going to be it. And then out of these two, who do you think is the winner? I'm going to go with Chris. I feel like you could go Carlos on this, but I think punching a boulder kind of gets you that slight advantage. I'm just saying. So Chris here wins, and he is the strongest Dead by Daylight survivor.